Hello and welcome back. Today we are looking at Prisma Angstrum. Now, in a nutshell, this weapon is okay. There are a few issues with it, particularly with me, because I have a very, very lovely knack of killing myself with the bloody thing. So I try to stay away, really, as like a rule of thumb, just avoid explodey weapons that have the potential to put me 6 foot under, because, well, I'm just so darn good at killing myself. It's actually become a bit of a unwanted hobby. But really, overall, this weapon, it's pretty decent. It could use a bit of a buff to actually make it worthwhile. In comparison to the standard vanilla Angstrum, it's got a higher critical hit chance. It's also got a faster charge rate as well as a faster reload speed. That is it. So really, in the long run, it's not much better. I mean, the critical chance has gone from 5 to 10, which isn't very useful, although this weapon does actually crit pretty darn well due to just the high amount of area that it covers. It will crit at some point. So I have tried to utilise that, and I've put primed target cracker on in the hopes that it will crit. However, against level 150 enemies, as you see here, it still doesn't really do much. From what I've seen, it tends to sort of slow down at about level 60. If you take it into the void, level 45 enemies you will start to struggle with, and they're just level 45. And I've seen a few different builds, I've tested out a few different builds, and to be honest, none of them really seem to work. I've had to actually resort to using my Tigris Prime at certain points just to try and up the damage a bit, as it were. But really, overall, like I said, it's an okay weapon. It's not going to be endgame at all, and that's endgame in the sense of sortie, as well as if you are endurance running. If you are doing endurance runnings, stay away from this weapon at all costs. One, it's inaccurate to hell, as you can probably see here. It's just one heavy gunner, man, come on, kill the thing. There we are, problem solved, and your face. But chances are that you'll end up killing yourself. I don't know why this weapon has a bit of a weird knack of just exploding on random things and killing you. I mean, there have been a few times where there's been nothing directly in front of me, and I fire it and I just die. So it's actually become a little bit of an annoyance. However, it can hit pretty hard, and I would say it's pretty darn good for clearing low levels, but going, I'd say, above level 40 you're risking it, and above level 60 you're crazy, and I want what you're having. In general, what I would say that this thing would need to buff it would actually just be an increase in status chance. Just put the status chance to 20%, and this would then be a really, really decent weapon. And it's because of the low status chance, which again is at 10%, you're not really able to utilise anything in the way of procs. I tried testing it out with corrosive, but it doesn't seem to proc corrosive enough to actually be useful. So I've actually gone for a radiation and viral side. So I've got blast, radiation and viral, and it does seem to work a little bit better, because for some strange reason radiation seems to proc quite often. So if anything, the way I'm trying to utilise it is on a large crowd. I just sort of hit them and a few get rad procced, and it takes the attention off me for a little bit. But in general, it's slow, it's cumbersome, it's pretty darn boring to use. The stats aren't actually that great. It misses a hell of a lot. You need to be pretty darn close to actually get some good shots in, but the closer you are, the more you hurt yourself, essentially. So it's a really annoying catch-22 sort of thing going on, and to be honest, I just haven't really enjoyed this weapon at all, which is a bit of a shame considering it's literally come out just after the Arca set, the Arca Corpus weapons, which all of them are really darn good. I mean, you can see here again, I've had to resort to using Tigris Prime, and it's just it shouldn't really be that way. Having to actually swap out your weapon because you're just not feeling that what you've done on another weapon is cutting it. And it's quite sad, really. I feel quite bad for this weapon. It just seems so lonely. But anyway, on with the build. As always, Hornet Strike, Lethal Torrent, Prime Pistol Gambit. Like I said, it just does help just up that crits for that extra damage boost. Barrel Diffusion, Scorch, Jolt, Frostbite and Pistol Pestilence. Anyway, that's me. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you pretty darn soon.